podcasting from Northwest Pennsylvania. You're listening to the Gen Extra Podcast, a show about Generation X, movies, technology, weird news, and anything else they feel like. Join them every Monday morning. Now, here's your hosts, Dave and Joe.
I love that opening.
All right, we're back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
209. Sorry,
209.
Trying to get my levels right here. I caught some of the last show, and I sound like I was like a little bit low in the mix, and I screwed something up. So trying to balance this out a little better here.
I hate to say it, I didn't hear that, but you're the expert. So,
you couldn't hear it? I heard it.
Well, you're tuned to that. I think. I feel like you are very perceptive on the nuances of how things sound. But that's good because you're really good at remotely tuning when my microphone is completely out of whack. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're sounding great. Mine was like, low. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it's a given talent that I just sound amazing.
That is true. Should we take a moment to mention, the airplane crash helicopter thing?
Yeah, definitely a bit of like open acknowledgement of the news there. Obviously.
That was horrible.
It really.
I mean, the conspiracies are already flying. Like, I don't know. I mean, Trump, Trump didn't handle it very well in his conference about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think lots of. I don't want to shade. I don't want to shield or shade for politicians, but I feel like disasters like this are rarely handled well by leaders. I mean, there are better ways. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know what you say. Like, I will never want to be in a position high up to have to publicly react to these disasters. It is weird. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. We've talked about that before on the show.
Yeah. You know who would have handled it well?
It's happened.
Obama.
Yeah.
Obama would have.
He would have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The even tempered. Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely have stood in for that. I think, what's that movie of Bill Pullman was in it where he impersonates the president who's sick and he basically looks like the president.
Oh, really?
Do you remember this? Do you remember this movie at all? I'm going to have to find
Bill Pullman was a president in two different movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Before Independence Day.
Oh, isn't it called something president something?
He is a presidential impersonator because he looks so much like the sitting president, and basically the White House taps him to be the stand-in for the president while the president is really ill. I just think it's funny. I feel like vocally you could do that for Obama.
Oh yeah,
certainly not physically, but vocally, I think that would be kind of interesting there. But that is a tragedy. I think I can't imagine what airspace control is like. That seems like a pretty egregious mistake, right? To crash an Army helicopter into a commercial airliner. I feel like that.
Obviously, there was a massive screw up from somebody somewhere. I don't know if they pinpointed it.
Screwed up big time. That's it's a little unfathomable. Definitely.
Yeah. I think everybody on the plane lost their lives. Like no one survived.
I do not think so. That's the.
If you're flying, do you ever obviously like that specifically is a total 1 in a billion.
First time I think it's ever happened.
Yeah, like it's so unbelievably rare. But like when you're flying, do you try and not let that shit creep in your head?
I think I'm pretty good about that. I'm able to shut that out of my mind. I really don't. My brain never gets to that point where there's nothing even tapping on my brain about the risks of air travel. Like I just don't. Maybe it's because I'm too annoyed by all the people that I'm around that distracts me. But I don't know. I'm lucky, I guess. I don't. My brain doesn't go there.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. So.
Well, I know you do. You bring a safety whistle on a cruise ship, man. Like, I mean, we know where your head gets on this.
Yeah. Anytime I'm on a plane, I always have to, like, if I start feeling a certain way about the flight, I'm like, I have to remind myself, I'm like, safest way to travel.
It really is.
It is.
Stats don't lie. I mean, I guess I don't. My brain doesn't go there. Fortunately, that's probably it. I don't think anyone can control that, right? Like, it's not, I certainly don't do anything to condition. Like, I don't do like deep meditation or anything to like coach my brain. It's just the type of brain that I have. I don't know. My brain doesn't go there.
Yeah. I think obviously the whole thing was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I heard there was like a team of like figure skaters or something.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, everything's so bad about it. But like for me, it's like thinking about it, when you're on that descent and you are moments from touchdown, which they were, you feel like, you made it.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like the hard part's over. And like of all, I don't know, it's just so like they were right there. Like, I don't even know how to, like, I'm not trying to like make light of it by any means, but I'm just saying like, it's just, they were literally seconds from being back, getting their bags, going home.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say there is a relief. I mean, while my brain doesn't go to the dark place, when they turn on the lights and they say we're beginning our final descent into whatever, there's joy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because I'm like, this shit show is almost over. And it's not like a bad flight, but I'm like, I finally get to get off this plane.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is joy. It is a terrible juxtaposition. And that's, yeah.
Yeah. But we don't need to talk about that.
No, that's it. But just acknowledge that it's tragedy. Again, our hearts go out. That's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, moving on. So
moving on.
Before we jump into our national days, you said there were some good ones here. So one thing I do want to mention is there was a recall on Lay's classic potato chips, the ones in the yellow bag.
Yeah, and you kind of posted this, and now you got me nervous. So can you please elaborate? Because I literally just had a bag of these recently, like 2 weeks ago. So how at risk am I?
Let me look it up here again. So they're Lay's chips recall. It was like 2 specific states, and it was a very specific, like if you ate them, like you're probably not going to get sick. It was specific to people with a particular allergy or an allergic reaction to something specific that was in it. Yeah, it says select bags of Lay's 13-ounce classic potato chips are included in the recall. Lay's voluntarily recalled from December, but December 3rd.
Undeclared. Here it is. Undeclared milk.
Yes. Yeah, I just read that too.
First of all,
why is
dibs
there
on the band?
What's that?
Dibs on the band. Undeclared milk. I think I get dibs on
dibs on the band name.
On the band name. Undeclared milk. I think that's a great band name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Problem ingredient identified. Undeclared milk poses a risk to those with severe sensitivities or allergies. Okay, so it's like a severe lactose. So you have to be susceptible to the condition, and then you have to consume these. Could be fatal.
Yes.
I mean, like, this is a serious class 1 recall, the most severe.
Like deadly. If you have a reaction to this milk product, where it was,
oh my.
Yeah, it can cause death.
Well,
from a potato chip.
That's definitely up there on my least favorite ways to go, is death by potato chip. That would be awful. So any of our listeners out there who have an allergy to quote undeclared milk, stick to the Doritos, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Don't go to.
I saw somewhere it was like 2 specific states.
Washington and Oregon. I see it here.
Okay. I couldn't find that.
Okay. Nowhere near me. Not to be selfish, but I'm going to be selfish. Nowhere near me.
Right. Yeah. What do you have a go-to chip? Like is a Lay's classic chip like one of your favorites?
No. I mean, if you're going to talk chips, and are you talking in the vein of like that classic-y potato chip? Because I feel like that's from like Doritos and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, like if you're scanning the shelf, like obviously if you're going to get a dip, yeah, you're going to want a classic chip to go with it.
Yes.
But if you're just going to grab some chips to eat, what's your go-to?
Flaming hot Doritos.
Flaming hot Doritos?
Which we've talked on the show before. Actually, before I started the show and I was just a listener. You guys talked about how those are the least healthy. Was it you and Jason, maybe? Those are the least healthy.
Oh, it was my friend Chris, yeah, when he was on.
Chris. They're the worst for you because of the sodium amount in that red hot, the flaming hot, whatever that flaming hot formula is that stains your fingers.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love that flavor. It's amazing. And that is an absolute vice of mine. I have to like avert my eyes in the grocery store or Walgreens or something if I see a bag of flaming hot Doritos on the shelf.
But sometimes you'll treat yourself, won't you?
Sometimes I will. Sometimes I will. I will indeed. How about you?
I think one of my go-to chips. Oh man, it's got to be the dill pickle Lays.
Those are good.
Like I love
Those-
dill pickle Lays. I think my other one would probably be just like a classic Dorito, like regular nacho cheese.
You know I don't like those anymore.
Really? Is it because of the Flamin' Hots?
Yep. It turned me off to the classic. They taste bland
Oh,
to me.
I mean, I can see that.
I think it's psychological, right? Because I see that orangish Dorito,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, Doritos. I like Doritos, and I'm like, oh, what happened to the flavor? And it's because I'm just so used to the Flaming Hot, which is just overwhelming.
Did you ever make that mistake? Like grab the wrong bag by accident?
No, fortunately, their color coding is pretty distinct. I did one time because I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like Doritos, and they didn't have them in stock, so I got a small bag of normal nacho cheese OG Doritos. Who disappointing to
Really?
me. Yep.
Yeah, actually, do you know who needs to differentiate the labeling and the coloring on a particular product is Smart Water. They have their regular Smart Water bottle,
Okay.
and then they have their alkaline or whatever it is, alkaline water. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I've seen it. Does that taste notably different?
It's horrible.
Okay.
Like it's so bad, and it's
I've never
like
had it, so
it's like 2 pigments lighter in blue than the regular one. So I'm like, I grabbed it one time by accident and opened it up, took a drink, and it was gross. I do not like alkaline water.
that sounds kind of. I don't like weird waters. I drink dumb water. I don't know. I like there's that. I do like the was it Liquid Death?
What's that?
I don't. It's sparkling water,
Oh.
but I love their branding. I actually don't drink sparkling water. I don't do that. Despite the fact that I really like soda, I don't drink sparkling water. I don't like how it tastes, but I do respect this like really like austere can with like skulls on it called Liquid Death, and it's just water. And I just like the marketing. I love the branding. My boss walks around with it. He likes sparkling water, and he's got these cans of Liquid Death on his desk at all times, and it just looks really kind of badass. I'm like, what's in those? He's like, a sparkling water. I'm like, okay.
How is water out of a can? Is it good?
I've had flat canned water. It's weird. Again, I think it's a psychological thing because if I crack open a can of something, A, I'm expecting carbonation. B, I'm expecting soda. So I've got 2 disappointments.
Yeah.
As I'm drinking it, and it's just flat water. I prefer it out of a bottle. I have like a reusable water bottle that I fill up on the regular, and that's just that's steel. I prefer steel water bottles to plastic ones. So like reusables, I like the ones that are steel lined. I don't know why. I think it's the coldness of the metal, whatever it is. It just I don't know.
Yeah. Do you use your own tap water?
And we run it through. We have Brita filters.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. It's not Brita brand anymore. Maybe Pure, whatever it is. But we have filtered jugs, pitchers.
Okay. Well,
And then at work, we have a Culligan system that we can dispense water from. So
yeah, we have the Culligan jugs. I think we've talked about this before.
yeah, I've seen that in your kitchen area there. Yeah, I definitely think that's I do like filtered water. I'm not going to be again, no conspiracies. I'll filter what I can. Right. I feel like it's not a lot of effort to just filter your water and know that you're getting closer to pure. I'm sure it's not getting everything.
Yeah. Are you so you don't have like any input as far as like the fluoride they put in city water?
Like any input, like any personal?
Yeah. Do you have any feelings of the conspiracies around that?
No, I don't buy into it.
You don't buy into any conspiracies, do you?
Very few.
Well, what's
Very
one
few.
you do? Do you have one that you're like, okay, this has got to be a legit conspiracy?
Yeah, I don't know if it's conspiracy theory or if it's skepticism. I think one of them came up recently with regards to this DeepSeek, the new Chinese open AI chat GPT.
Oh, they're like trying to buy up all the GPUs around.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's those I actually kind of buy into a little bit because there's it's more believable to me that it's like, okay, you've got a state-backed company, right? Ecosystem, economy that isn't known for playing by the rules. Like historically, you take conspiracies off the table. China as a country, because of its control of its economy and its companies that are incorporated there, can and will do whatever they want, and they've demonstrated that. Okay, so yeah, am I going to believe the accusations that DeepSeek has basically stolen code from OpenAI and ChatGPT and leveraged existing products to basically turn out a competitor in a fraction of the time for a fraction of the cost. Yeah. Like, have you looked at China's economy? That's kind of what they do for everything. They do it for toys. They do it for cars. Why wouldn't they do it with tech? So I don't know if it falls into the conspiracy theory, though. I just think that that's something. There's certain things that I do. I'm like, I question if that's. I'm kind of in with the whole.
Yeah, I see where you're going. Like,
kind of thing. Yeah,
there is more of a plausibility to that.
Right.
But like the fluoride thing, where people will say, they're putting fluoride in your water for XYZ reasons, and but there is something to it as far as like people have done research on fluoride and it is definitely not good for you. But could you remember taking like fluoride tablets when you were a kid?
I was just gonna say that, those little tiny ass pink tablets.
Yeah, we had to eat those when we were kids.
Yep,
and they're supposed to be make your teeth healthy or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily buy into that. And I'm let's put it this way: I would be happier if the water were not fluoridated. I just want water. Yeah. I want it clean. I want water. If I want to add fluoride, if I feel like that's something that I want, then I'll take a stupid fluoride pill. I notice those aren't a thing anymore because I think science has grown in the past 40 years. And maybe we realize that's not such a good idea. I mean, 60 years ago, news anchors were declaring what cigarette they were having for the evening, and the cigarette is a Marlboro.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, there was like 4 out of 5 doctors recommend Camels for their smooth draw.
Exactly. So I feel like it's one of those things. Like, it's not that I don't buy into conspiracies. It's just that I always want to move forward, right? I want to work with what we're given now. I don't want to get stuck in the past and be like, well, it's always been that way. We've always done that. That doesn't mean you still should. Like, we got to move forward here, right? I mean, I used to use a rotary phone. Do I still want to do that? No, that's an innocuous example.
Well, they used to just hand us liquid mercury to play with when we were in school.
Oh my gosh, you hold it in your hand and you roll it around. What's wrong with that? There we go. Oh, they used to X-ray your feet with no shielding, no lead shielding whatsoever. It's like, here's a box, here's an X-ray machine. Let's look at the skeleton of your foot. Yeah, there are bad ideas through every
the radium paint. Remember that?
Radium paint, absolutely, absolutely.
Those people all died.
Yep.
Yeah, working in that factory.
Well, asbestos insulation, asbestos in your brake pads. Right? Brake pads used to be asbestos based because they worked amazing.
Dude, there was asbestos in like oven mitts. It was everywhere.
Oh yeah, because it worked.
It was a hell of an insulator.
Yeah, because it worked. And it's, some things work, some things are dangerous and they work. So yeah, got to move on. And so yeah, I would, again, I don't think here's the problem I think though, is that I think that some of the conspiracy theories, and this is why I tend to shy away from them and almost actively push them away, is because I feel like the conspiracy theories, the out there ones, like there are fluoride ones, but the crazy ones, like, oh well, they're doing it because they're what the heck was it? It was like the COVID vaccine. They're putting nanobots,
nanobots, microchips in there, and I'm like, yeah, right. And they even put on social media, on the socials, there was like, oh, here's the schematic. We found the schematic of it, and it was like it was a chip for like a pedal amp for a guitar or something, or for a drum kit or something like that. It was something very blatantly for a music instrument. And they put it on there as if this simple circuit diagram was the schematic for the mind control chip that you were getting in the vaccine. And I'm like, and I'm not here I'm not going to like go into the vaccine camps at all, but crazy ass arguments like that take the focus off the real discussions that should be happening, right? If fluoride is not going to, be this mind control, they're not going to try and lull you into a sense of social acceptance and the government's trying to control you with fluoride. No, someone thought it was a good idea. Now, is it a good idea? No, but let's have a reasonable conversation on should we be putting a questionable chemical in a drinking water? Yeah, we should know better by now. Yeah,
we should know better, but we shouldn't even be giving any neurons to, it's gonna, it's gonna control my brain, right, and shrink my testicles if I have fluoridated water. No, can we talk about the fact that it might not be good? Like, can we just be normal people for once?
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, I think it just comes down to like regulations and stuff from like the FDA, because like over in like England and stuff, like they have such tighter regulations on what they put in their food.
oh yeah,
Like even like cereal, like it's not the same over there. Like all the dyes that we use in all of our foods, they don't. Like they have banned the use of like certain red dyes, yellow dyes, blue dye, like because dyes are not good for you.
that's relevant. You just brought that up. Red number 3, the FDA finally banned red number 3, which has been banned all over the world for years.
Oh, we finally did ban it?
We finally banned it. It's been like 15 years that like Europe and California, a lot of things are banned because they're a little bit more European in their control. But yeah, the FDA finally regulated that red 3 is a problem. A bit slow to the party, but to your point, yeah, that just happened maybe last week ago. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
things
that.
like that.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. Moving forward.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So that's that news. No, so that was a really long tangent on conspiracy theories, but no, I don't.
Yeah. Oops.
Sorry, you caught me on a breeze rant there. I got
that's okay.
Fired up about it.
Actually, I'll tell you what, let's jump into some national days so we don't skip past. You said there were some good ones. I want to hear some.
Yeah, well, so we'll get national days, national weeks, national months. So last Wednesday on the 29th was Lunar New Year. So the cultures and countries that celebrate that is fun. It's the year of the snake. Do you know your lunar zodiac, Dave? What year were you born?
80.
Oh, I should have known that. Let's see. That would be, oh yeah, the year of the monkey.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, you were in the year of the monkey. I was born the year of the rooster, the lunar new year of the rooster.
Is that an Alice in Chains song?
Year of the rooster?
Or something
Should
like that.
be.
Something that was Year of the Rooster. It was something about a rooster.
I just keep going. My brain keeps going to I am the walrus, cuckoo, cuckoo, but that's not it either. Okay, so Lunar New Year was fun. So if you celebrate that, that's a lot of fun. My kid is in school, and so they have like Lunar New Year. Like, they just tell him about it. They learned about it. He knows more about it than I do, but it's kind of fun. It's very celebratory. I mean, it's a bit like, the Solar New Year that we celebrate, but it just, I don't know, it seems a lot more fun. They got like the big parades and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Obviously, coming up.
Do people dress up as their lunar character?
I think that would be cool. I get the impression that it's more you're dressing up or you're putting up symbols of the current year. So there'd be a lot more snake iconography on there. So yeah, you kind of go with more of the year. That'd be a cool thing though. I wonder if that is in certain groups, if you just dress up, just have a lunar zodiac party
Like
where everyone dresses up as
big
their
lunar furry party.
I love this. This is a great idea. We should make this a thing.
We should.
And February has started at time of broadcast here, so our time of listening. So it's Black History Month. So it's something to be aware of. Obviously, a lot of tremendous figures in Black history. Martin Luther King, not the least of which. And anyway, I'm going to fire these off and we can latch onto whichever ones we want. February 1st is Change Your Password Day. As an IT professional, I would encourage you to change your password. Take whatever thing you want. Do not make it password. That's generally a bad practice there. Candidly, I tend to change mine about once a year. I'll go through and change my passwords just for safety. Might be a little paranoid, but at least for the important stuff. I don't really change the innocuous stuff that really won't get back to me very much, which is probably bad practice if you ask a cybersecurity specialist.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, well. Yeah. Also, and perhaps most importantly on February 1st, is National G.I. Joe Day.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, we're a bit too young for the old school 16-inch.
Oh, the large G.I. Joes?
The OG G.I. Joes.
Yeah, no, I never played with those. No,
my uncle had those. So when I visited my grandmother, she had their original G.I. Joes, and they were like the 14-inch figures. They're really cool.
Yeah, no, we were from the 80s, so we grew up with the 4-inch ones, or how big they were.
Yeah, the He-Man sized ones.
Yeah.
They were all action figures were that size back then when we were growing up. Yeah, those were cool. Did you have a favorite? Did you watch the show, or did you just know about it because everyone talked about G.I. Joe back then?
Oh no, I watched it.
Okay, do you have a favorite character?
Probably Snake Eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ding ding. Yeah, absolutely. That was the right answer, Dave. Good job.
He was the most ninja like.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah, I know you like the ninjas, man.
Yeah. What other did you have a lot of I'm sure you did. What am I thinking? Like, what other like action figures did you play with when you were a kid?
You know, I did not have a ton of GI Joes. I had a lot of the Ninja Turtles.
Dude, so did I.
Oh, I had the Turtle Van was what was the I had the Turtle Van. I had obviously the full cast. I didn't have a Casey Jones. I never had a Casey Jones figure.
He wasn't
But
that exciting to have.
Not real. Well, like the whole hockey stick in his hand was pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
I did have Casey Jones though.
Okay. All right. I had Splinter and the Turtles in April, and then I had the van. The van was just fun because you could shoot the little missiles off of it. So you could set up targets.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the van with the missiles. Yeah.
I always thought that was pretty fun.
We were like my friend Zach and I used to play with Ninja Turtles all the time. And we were like Casey Jones and April. They were always, finding each other, in precarious positions. Anyway,
I'm silently sorry for the silence. I was silently laughing back over here.
Yeah, I remember, the turtles would just be standing around them like cucks. Like, sorry,
I've got tears streaming down my face right now.
I don't know what's wrong with us.
Yeah. Well, that would be an entirely separate podcast.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Dave and Breeze?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You know what's I'm glad because I could tell simply by the way you started your laugh. And I'm like, this is gonna go badly really quickly.
Yeah.
You have a tell. Your laugh is very distinct, but you're about to think of something that you're like, this might not be appropriate.
Yeah, I was like, I'm already embarrassed. I'm gonna tell this story.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, we got a couple of birthdays coming up.
And what's the next one?
Moving on.
Yes.
February 3rd is Elmo's birthday from Sesame Street. Well, that was a sigh. You don't like Elmo?
I hated Elmo. I didn't grow up like with Elmo like as a kid. So
it was past their generation.
Yeah. So when Elmo was brought to light and everybody was like all like loving Elmo and the show and the dolls and stuff. Oh my god, I hated him so much. He was such an annoying character. But kids love them. And that's all that really matters.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. Well, maybe something more positive is the day after that, February 4th, is Alice Cooper's birthday.
Oh.
Kind of a fan of Alice Cooper. I think he has some good music. I still love his cameo in Wayne's World in the movie there, way back when. Bit of a throwback, but that's actually like the first time I ever saw like what Alice Cooper looked like. I had heard his music, but him and when they went to the concert at Wayne's World.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch. I don't remember his cameo.
Yeah, they go to see his concert in Milwaukee. The Rob Lowe character, the corrupt music producer, gets them tickets to the Alice Cooper concert with backstage passes. And that's actually the moment. That's the "We're Not Worthy" bow that they do. If you remember that from the movie.
Yeah.
That's the backstage with Alice Cooper. In that movie
that's right. Okay. Yes.
That's what that clip is from. Yeah. Right. Decontextualized. It's one of the clip has persevered, but it may not stick in terms of who they were bowing to. It's Alice Cooper because school's out for the summer.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I want to mention this about another cameo that my wife and I just saw. We rewatched Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
Oh my gosh, Pauly Shore.
Yeah. He kind of fell off the map after like Biodome. But no, we were talking about Encino Man, and I completely forgot that Brendan Fraser as Encino Man made a cameo in Son-in-Law. Do you remember this?
No.
Yeah, he was. It was during their like dorm room Halloween party, like at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
And Pauly Shore walked into one of the dorms, and sure enough, Brendan Fraser was standing there as Encino Man.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I did not know that. I did not remember that at all.
Yeah.
Huh. I like Encino Man. We talked about that before on the show.
Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, next,
World Nutella Day. You fan of Nutella spread?
I don't hate it, but I don't seek it out either. Like I've had it before. It's fine.
Constantly have a jar of this in the house. It's a family favorite for sure.
It is good. That's nothing I gravitate towards.
February 5th is Nutella Day. February 7th, here we go, is National Working Naked Day.
What is that? What is that?
Embracing the comfort of familiar surroundings, remote work offers the freedom to craft a productive, personalized, and naked workspace.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. After you hear this episode, this coming Friday on the 7th, work naked.
Naked podcast.
Work naked. Oh,
here we go.
we're not doing naked podcasts. Although theater of the mind, we could pretend we are.
And when they pretend April O'Neil shows up with Casey Jones. Wait, what? Sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh, and then we'll cap the week off with Chris Rock's birthday, also February 7th on Naked Workday. Chris Rock, one of my favorite comedians. Definitely good stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know if you're a Chris Rock fan. I love his early specials. They're so funny.
His early stuff was fantastic. Like, does he even still do stand up?
I actually don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I think one of my favorite movies that had him in it was Lethal Weapon 4.
Yes. Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that, especially the nitrous scene, because what's the premise? That Chris Rock's character is he engaged? Oh, he's secretly married to Murtaugh's son.
Yeah.
Or daughter. Secretly married to Murtaugh's daughter.
Son.
I'm jumping ahead of the dialogue, but yeah, because he goes, right? Because they're on the nitrous and they're all getting high on laughing gas, and he's like, "Why did you just call him my son-in-law?" And just Chris Rock, because I am.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God, that's a very funny scene. And then he gets punched.
Yeah.
By,
That was a great movie. I
Really?
heard they're possibly going to be doing a 5th.
Oh, I hope not. Just let it go.
They literally are too old for this shit now. Like,
Yeah, just let it go. It worked. It was great. It ended well. Don't Indiana Jones this thing and just leave it well enough alone.
yeah, well, geriatric cops.
Yeah. Uncle Benny from that. Remember from that movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jet Li was in that one too.
He was. He kicked so much. Jet Li is one of my favorite martial arts actors. He's just absolutely outstanding. Him and, oh dear, I'm blanking on his name. It'll come to me.
Chow Yun Fat.
Chow Yun Fat he's a really good martial artist, and he's a really good coordinator. He's not one of my favorite actors.
Jackie Chan.
He was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. No, dang it. It'll come to me.
Van Damme.
Surprisingly, no. I really didn't really care for I didn't really care for
son
him.
of a bitch.
I'm sorry. I just didn't really, I don't know. Donnie Yen. Sorry, Donnie Yen
Who's that?
is the actor.
What's he been in?
Well, he does a lot more like authentic. So you're see Ip Man, IP Man.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know that.
He was also in Rogue One in Star Wars. He was
Okay.
the blind guy who does all the cool martial arts. Anyway, he's a really good martial artist. I think he's really impressive.
Okay,
But he does a lot.
I don't understand these blind kung fu people. Like there's another movie with Rutger Hauer years ago called Blind Fury. Where he was this blind dude, but he was like literally like he was legit blind. And he would just walk around with a cane and he would beat the shit out of people blind because he had like some weird like sixth sense that he like knew where people were. Like I don't know,
Like-
man, like some sort of
Like Daredevil?
yeah, kind of, which I think
the
Daredevil
comic?
Daredevil bothers me too.
Oh, you know, it's funny. I looked at this movie poster and I'm like, this had to come out in the 90s. And yeah, it was released in 1990.
Yes, I think it
just
was
look at
1990. Yeah,
It was 1990, but I look at the box art. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a 90s box art, if ever I've seen one.
yeah. It wasn't
Yeah,
a horrible
listeners,
movie.
cool.
It wasn't a bad movie. It's just the whole concept of the blind martial artist. Just I cannot get behind it.
Oh, it's so funny.
I've complained about Daredevil before on the show. Where I don't understand like how like I mean I could be completely wrong, but how if you go blind, how do you develop like a echolocation system in your mind like a bat, like to where you can legit like hold a fight like with
Well, I guess that with Daredevil, I mean, that is the superpower, right? Like that is he's effectively superhuman in that regard, but he's a comic character. This movie, yeah, you get the blind martial artist, and even in Star Wars, like there's a force sensitivity, right? You're already dealing with an aspect of the mystical. I don't know if this particular movie that you're talking about, Blind Fury, has that mystical aspect. Or if he's
nothing
just a blind
magical
dude.
about it
Okay.
whatsoever.
He's just a blind dude, and they just made the movie to piss you off, Dave. That's why. I think you need to come to the realization that many of these things exist just to piss you off.
Yeah. If he was like I feel like mildly bad eyesight, like maybe, but like blurry fury.
Blurry.
Like that, I would have at least been like, all right, you see like, the shapes and stuff coming at him, but
That's what happens. That's what I do when I do my Taekwondo and I take my glasses off. That's
Right.
blurry fury right
yeah,
there.
it is. You're gonna coin that now, aren't you?
Blurry, I am blurry fury.
Yeah.
I was just gonna,
Oh my God.
and if you put an eye patch on, it's Nick Blurry Fury.
Oh, there you go.
See, I like your snicker there. You're like, that was dumb. You're like, Breeze, that was a stupid ass joke.
Oh my God. All right. Do you have anything else for National Days, or was that it?
No, that was it. Lots of them, but that was it for this week.
All right. Well, we're actually going to do something, Breeze, that I think we've only done once on the show together. Are you ready?
From all across the world, there are stories to be told. The strange, the bizarre, funny, freaky, the abnormal, and extraordinary. Grab your beer or pour some booze. It's time for the Weird News.
Yes. Boom.
Weird news indeed. I love it.
Yeah. We found some weird news stories.
Yeah, kick it off. Kick it off for us.
All right. So this story that I found, Breeze, I saw a video on YouTube and I linked it in the notes there so you can take a look at it. Where is it at?
Oh, is it the crocodile one?
Indonesia, maybe, I think it was. Australia. Oh, Australia. The crocodiles are doing something a little bit odd. So they're starting to, they've caught a few of these on camera now. Now, I don't know if it is what they're saying, which I'll tell you in a second, or if it is just them doing something and they've interpreted it incorrectly. So what they caught on video was a crocodile with his little croc hands and arms. He's like upside down in the water, and he's putting his hands up in the air and kind of moving them about like a drowning person. And like the video says, if you see this in the water, don't jump in and swim out to help, because it is a crocodile luring you in. If the crocs have figured out by watching human beings that they can imitate a drowning person to thus lure you in to eat you, that is frightening to me.
I think that's amazing. I think that's impressive. That is really impressive.
Well, someone's going to fall for this. Like, it looks legit. But if you look closely, you can see the little croc fingers and you're like, oh, okay, like that's not a person. But yeah, it's quite the imitation, I'll say.
Yeah, I was reading into this a little bit now as you were describing it. It does look like there's a couple experts that have weighed in that suspect that the video that they're capturing is because the croc may already have prey in its mouth, and they do tend to roll over on their like on their backs to disorient their prey. They'll roll.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I know that's what they do, but I've seen videos of crocs when they get stuff in their mouth. Like they do the death roll, and it's aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sure I buy into that excuse, because you're right. It's usually a lot faster because they're trying to stun and disorient.
This looks very much on purpose. Like he's on his back. He's like, woo, like I'm drowning over here.
There is a slowness to it too. It's this weird. It's like, it's if you were to put your hands up in the air and be like, ooh, I'm a ghost. It's got that kind of slow wavy to it.
Yeah.
It is a little weird. It's a lot weird. It's not a little weird.
I know, dude. Like it's frightening. Like
it's very strange. This is one where I'm like, oh, you know what? I might buy into that. Mm-hmm. There's some experts that are like, no, that can't be it. I'm like, really?
I mean, dude, they've been around for millions of years since the dinosaurs. Evolution, man. Like everything, insects, birds, like things will imitate things to attract prey. Like I think this is a very possible thing that crocs.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I saw a video one time of it was a crow, and it would basically, or some kind of bird. It was finding like nuts that it couldn't deshell. Mm-hmm. And it was flying them, and it was putting them into a crosswalk.
Oh, letting the car run over them. Yeah.
or the crosswalk, or a person or a car runs over, and then he goes back and gets the nut, and then he brings another shelled nut to the same spot, and he's making the cars and the people open the nut for him. Like, so that's pretty complex. You figure the bird's brain is a bird's brain.
Yeah, but they say intelligence. I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this one time, and he says the size of the brain compared to the mass of the body.
Oh,
birds are like the second most intelligent thing on the planet.
Those are the mass versus the mass, because they actually don't have. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
crocodiles though have a huge mass.
No, they don't actually.
Don't?
No, they're
compared to their brain. I would think that the muscle and everything else.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the mass of the brain. No.
Oh, no. The mass of their body is gigantic.
Yeah.
The mass of the brain is probably comparatively small.
Yeah, so it is kind of a phenomenon. They're actually figuring this out, if that's what they're doing. But no, back to the crows. I saw this one video, and then we'll move on. But I saw this video where this crow was taking. There was a water bottle with water in it, and it was like just low enough where the bird couldn't get his beak down and get a drink. So it was walking around, it was picking up stones, and it was putting them inside the bottle to raise the level of the water.
Display. Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah, it understands water displacement.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, maybe not
That is pretty cool.
Scientifically, but it knows that if I put water or rocks in here, it brings the water up. Like that's thought.
That is thought. That's creative. That's like what they call lateral thinking.
Yeah.
Right. Thinking around something. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's not just, instinctive stuff. It's like 1 + 2 equals, 3. Like this is what this does. Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Really cool. All right. What story did you find?
I found the googly-eyed bandit in Oregon.
I saw a picture of this.
Apparently, starting in December, googly eyes, giant ones, like we're talking like 6 inches, like googly eyes, started appearing on public art throughout the city in Bend, Oregon. Drivers would look, emirs, they put them on like deer statues. This one's on like a giant sphere statue. But this guy is basically just putting on a bunch of googly eyes all over like public art. Kind of starting to tick off the city because they actually had to pay for the removal, right? They were very, very sticky. So they had to, because they were like weatherproof.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess the guy came forward, but I said this is the googly eye bandit. I had to be identity of person became known as the googly eye bandit. Jeff Keith came forward to claim responsibility. He runs the Guardian Group, a nonprofit focused on disrupting sex trafficking in the United States. So it's a good cause. He's trying to draw awareness to his charity, I suppose. But yeah, he just started sticking googly eyes all over the place on there. He's like, I just did it for fun. I wanted to do it for fun and awareness to my charity. It's just a cool idea. It's just a fun idea. Other people started mimicking it. He's like, I love it. That's the cool part. This is just a community thing. It's what we do. But I just think it's hilarious. And if you scroll through some of these photos, they're pretty funny. This guy just decided, hey, I'm just going to get a bunch of googly eyes and stick them on public art. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, would it be considered like vandalizing?
They're not pressing charges. I think that they're okay with it. He may have even contributed to removing them. I don't know. But
it's kind of funny though.
It's not irreparable damage, right?
Right.
They can be removed. Is it really vandalism if you put a sticker somewhere? Maybe. Probably harder to get up in the googly eyes.
Yeah. I mean, if you like, I'm sure if there's like a statue of somebody and you decided to like stick something phallic on him.
Oh, yeah. It's probably intent too, right? Yeah, you're probably
you could pop it off, but you did something.
Yeah, there's a propriety to it, right? Googly eyes are pretty innocuous.
Yeah.
Pretty inoffensive. There's something lewd about putting googly eyes on everything. Speaking of googly eyes, you may be familiar with Christopher Walken's work as the botanist who's afraid of plants, where he puts the googly eyes on the plants so he's less afraid of them.
Yeah, like,
right.
Something about like googly eyes, or something like that.
Yeah. So I put googly eyes, so they're not as scary.
Yeah.
And now I can be around them. And then my friends.
I forgot about that skip. Googly eyes.
It's one of my favorites of his, besides the cowbell, because that's, yeah. Well, Christopher Walken is also in the news. He told the Wall Street Journal last week that his relationship with technology is non-existent, to the point where he doesn't own a cell phone, only watches television via satellite dish on the roof of his house. Quote, I don't have a cell phone. I've never emailed. I don't have technology. Oh, apparently, because he's in the show Severance, the producers are good enough. They're good enough to send him DVDs. He's only watched them. Yeah, he's only watched them on physical media. He doesn't. He doesn't actually have the streaming service that he's producing and starring in shows. I love this quote here. I've never emailed or what do you call it? Twittered. So yeah, Walken doesn't text.
So no
Right,
phone, no text, no email. Does it he even have like internet?
It does not. He does not. It certainly doesn't seem so. He really doesn't seem so. It looks like it's just because he's satellite television. I mean, that's the implication of this article is that he does not have a used internet connection. He probably his home phone is probably
his
voice
DSL.
over IP phone. But yeah, I mean, there's probably but his dial up. You know, he kicks in the modem.
God, can you imagine like humans, or just in not in like third. I'm trying to say this nicely. People who have access to internet have internet, and they have become so used to it and so accustomed to it in their daily lives that if you took it away, even just the internet, not even your phone yet, but if you lost internet, man, places shut down, businesses can't operate, and then take away your phone. Like if you leave your house without your phone and go to the store, you feel lost in a way. Like you are disconnected.
There is a dependency. I agree. Honestly, I think it's probably very freeing for him to not have that. That's probably a very, very different life.
Yeah. Like we've talked to my daughter about, growing up in the 80s and 90s without having cell phones and internet. And she's actually kind of envious, oddly. She's like, I wish I would have grown up in a time where there wasn't, phones and all that. So it just sounded like it was like so much more fun. And in a certain ways it was.
Yeah. But take her on an 8-hour road trip and see if she changes her mind on
that. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Look out the window. That was your entertainment.
Yeah. That was your movie, right? Mm-hmm. Nowadays I can just be like, oh, I'm on a heck. I mean, even like if I take the train to work, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch Deadpool Wolverine. Which I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have that choice, right? My kids can watch any movie they want on an 8-hour road trip. I've got my podcast in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got the earbud in the one ear, listening away.
Yeah,
just in case Dave decides to swear on the show. Got to keep it clean.
Even just working out, like if you're on a treadmill.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you're right.
Like just having your headphones on, like to listen to a podcast or music or whatever. Back then, it wasn't. I mean, you could still listen to like your Walkman with like tapes and stuff, but yeah, nothing.
Nope, it was just running in place to pure silence.
That's what silence, or like something you have, like I said, like a tape, but like there's no current stuff. Like there's no like, oh, like here's this new show I want to listen to. It's weird. Like it's weird that we have all this and we're so used to it, and it wasn't even like that even 20-some years ago, 25 years ago.
And you had to commit to it too. You had to be like, oh, here's the cassette or here's the CD that I'm going to put in my player,
right,
for the run or for whatever it was, and that's what you got, right? Yes, you'd have a mixtape and a Walkman because then you got some variety. Or otherwise it was, oh, Michael Jackson's Dangerous. Here we go.
Yeah.
And that was your entire playlist, right? When you're on the treadmill.
It was, yeah. But speaking of working out, Breeze,
huh?
I got one last story here for the weird news. Oh. We'll keep this one as clean as we can. But I saw this article, and this woman named Bonnie Blue. I know the name. She holds a new record, all right? Which the old record, can't even believe this is even a record, but she slept with 1,057 guys in 12 hours.
Is this in Guinness? Is this like Guinness certified?
I sure hope not. My God, no, there's no way a Guinness guy was standing there with his like tablet, and his like
I don't know. I've heard that if you pay them enough, they'll certify pretty much anything. But
dude, there's no way he sat there and like counted every guy that came through, and he's like making sure that the deed was done. There's no way. But obviously, somebody had to verify it. Obviously, someone was there, but I don't think it was Guinness. Anyway, so I was thinking of the logistics of trying to pull something like this off. The first thought was, if you flip the script, this story would never have happened.
True.
Yeah. So there's never going to be dude sleeps with 1,058 girls or whatever it was, 57 girls. That's just never going to happen.
That is true.
It won't exist.
You would never find that many women gullible enough to do this.
Right. But guys, they over 1,000 of them lined up, probably more. And so I'm like, all right, so 1,057 in 12 hours. I'm like, let's do some math here. So 1,057 divided by 12 hours, that's 88 gentlemen per hour. So 60 seconds or 60 minutes divided by 88 is 0.68 minutes. So each one of these lucky dogs, they got about 35 to 40 seconds each. And I can't even imagine. Like there's so much that goes through my mind about like of how this went down. And it is like horrifying to me to think about it.
I'm just going to say one thing on this, and that's that I feel relieved for the 1,058th guy.
Oh, no doubt. When you're standing out,
and I feel very sorry for the 1,057th, the last guy.
The last guy.
I feel like the last plus one, he got off. He probably.
Oh, dude.
He was.
Do you think there was like some sort of lottery? Like here's a bunch of numbers, guys. Like pick it out of a hat.
I don't know, but I'm looking into this, unfortunately, much to my regret. And I'm regretting every scroll from my thumb, but it's okay. Previous record holder was adult film star Lisa Sparks. She slept with 919 men at the, here we go, 3rd annual World Gangbang Championship in Warsaw back in 2004.
That is an actual thing. The Gangbang Championship?
That sentence alone might go down in history as the weirdest thing that I have read in a decade.
What's wrong with people?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Like, I mean, when we were growing up, like, there's always a joke of like, sloppy seconds. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying. Like the 1,057th dude. That there's not. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I think with that we got to end it on that one. That's that's the end of the weird news for sure.
Are you saying we should finish Breeze?
Should finish this. Yeah.
God,
nice guys finished last.
Yeah. All right.
No. God.
Well, on that, yes. Thank you all for checking this out again, and we'll see you on the next one.
Well, hopefully, come back, please.
Yes, come back.